The solo hustler. The glow of your laptop screen is the only light in your bedroom, and it's 2:14 in the morning. Your coffee went cold 2 hours ago, sitting next to a half-eaten sandwich you barely remember buying. You haven't left the apartment all day. 6 months ago, you walked away from your corporate job. You handed in your badge, collected your last W-2 paycheck, and told your friends over drinks that you were finally going to be your own boss. You bought into the dream completely. Freedom, flexibility, uncapped potential, building an empire on your own terms. You didn't escape the 40-hour work week. You traded it for an 80-hour sentence. Your calendar isn't open. It's a chaotic mosaic of overlapping deadlines. Your workspace rotates between the corner desk in your bedroom and a noisy local coffee shop, where you wear noise-canceling headphones to pretend you're sitting in an executive suite. You aren't running a company. You are holding together 5 different jobs with duct tape and desperation. You are the sales team, pitching strangers on LinkedIn during lunch, sending cold emails, and chasing leads that ghost you after 3 rounds of revisions. You are the executioner, delivering the actual service, grinding through the work late into the night because the deadline was yesterday. Every single dollar that enters your bank account is tied directly to the physical movement of your fingers across a keyboard. If you get a stomach flu and can't open your laptop for 3 days, revenue drops to 0. If you decide to take a week off to visit family, your sales pipeline dies. You didn't build a business. You just bought a precarious job and hired the most ruthless, unforgiving boss you've ever met. You put your head in your hands, take a deep breath, open a fresh spreadsheet, and start typing again.
The small business operator. You thought the solution to level 1 was simple. Hire people, delegate the work, build a team, scale the operation, and finally step back into the role of a true CEO. So, you signed a 3-year commercial lease on a modest suburban office park unit. You bought cheap modular desks, installed fluorescent lighting, and hired 8 employees. You traded your bedroom desk for a glass-walled corner office where you sit in a sharp navy blazer. On paper, you look like a real business owner. From the outside, it looks like success. You tell your parents over Sunday dinner that you are building a team. The reality? You didn't buy your freedom. You just multiplied your anxiety by 8. The nightmare of payroll and human drama. You no longer spend your days doing the work that made you good at your craft. Your entire schedule is now eaten alive by continuous crisis management, bureaucracy, and human drama. Your simple black dot eyes, once focused purely on client deliverables, now spend 8 hours a day tracking internal fires. Your senior designer gives 2 days' notice via Slack because a tech startup offered them remote work for $20,000 more. The junior analyst you spent 3 months training just called in sick for the 3rd Monday in a row. Every 2 weeks, the 5th and the 20th loom over you like a guillotine. You aren't just paying salaries, you're wrestling with employer-side payroll taxes, state unemployment insurance, workers' comp, and the staggering monthly premiums for the group health insurance plan you had to offer just to get people to apply. A client threatens to sue over a missed deadline caused by an employee's oversight. Another staff member brings a dispute with a coworker straight into your office, demanding you play corporate therapist. At level 1, if you failed, only you went hungry. At level 2, if you miss payroll on Friday, 8 families can't pay their mortgages, and it's entirely your fault. You sit at your office desk at 6:30 p.m., long after the staff has turned off the lights and driven home. You look out at the sea of empty cubicles, adjusting your loosened tie with pale, featureless hands. You pull up your business bank account. Revenue is 5 times higher than it was when you were working solo, but after paying the landlord, the software licenses, the health insurance provider, state taxes, and the payroll company, your personal take-home pay is actually less than what you made as a freelancer in your bedroom. You are carrying all the financial risk, working 70 hours a week, absorbing all the emotional liability, and paying yourself last. You aren't building an empire. You've just built a daycare center, and you are the only one on call. The scaled executive. You finally did it. You stopped being a manager and became a true executive. You moved the company out of the suburban office park and into the 14th floor of a downtown glass tower. You no longer sit in the open floor plan. You sit in a corner suite behind thick, soundproof glass. From the outside, You've achieved the ultimate entrepreneurial dream. The business runs without you. Or, at least, that's the illusion you sell at industry panels. The reality is that you no longer know what your company actually does. You haven't spoken to a real customer in 18 months. You don't know the names of the people who build your product, and you haven't logged into the customer-facing portal since last year. You don't manage workers anymore. You manage C-suite executives, a chief revenue officer, a CMO, a VP of product, and a CFO. Your entire existence has been abstracted into acronyms, dashboards, and financial engineering. Your morning routine isn't about product quality. It's about reading daily flash reports. CAC, customer acquisition cost, LTV, lifetime value, churn rate, and net revenue retention. Your black dot eyes scan rows of numbers, searching for microtrends to exploit. The word of the day, every day, is EBITDA. You are no longer trying to make a great product. You are optimizing the profit margin for an eventual institutional buyer. To expand margins, you approve aggressive cost-cutting measures drafted by your CFO. You downgrade software tiers, mandate remote work pay adjustments, offshore customer support to lower-cost regions, and replace senior engineers with cheaper entry-level hires. To you, the product is no longer a physical thing or a service that helps people. It is simply line item number 402 on a consolidated P&L statement. When a longtime client leaves a devastating one-star review, complaining that your service quality has cratered over the past year, it never reaches your desk. Your VP of customer success filters it out. You only see the aggregated churn metric on slide 14 of your weekly deck, represented as a clean, sterile, minus 1.2%. You lean back in your Italian leather chair, your pale, featureless hands folded neatly over your stomach. You look out the floor-to-ceiling windows at the city skyline below. You have successfully built a machine that generates cash without your daily intervention. But as you stare at the cold, glowing dashboards, a hollow truth becomes undeniable. You didn't build a lasting legacy. You built an abstract, soulless yield generator, and you're just the mechanic keeping the margins high enough to sell it. The holding and asset architect. You no longer own a company. You don't even have a title. If someone searches your name on Google, nothing comes up. No press releases, no LinkedIn profile, no corporate registries. To the public, you have vanished. But in reality, you have ascended to a tier of capital where ownership is considered a liability. You sit in a quiet, sunlit private office inside a multi-family office building in Zurich, or perhaps Wilmington, Delaware. There are no branding signs on the door. You wear an unbranded, bespoke charcoal suit, a crisp white shirt, and no tie. Your simple black dot eyes scan a single piece of heavy paper, a confidential diagram of interlinked entities. Your motto is simple: own nothing, control everything. You no longer build businesses or manage operators. You design legal architecture. Your empire is held within a labyrinth of legal shields. A Wyoming Asset Protection Trust owning a Delaware Holding LLC, which holds shares in a Cayman Islands SPV, managed by a Swiss fiduciary. You don't earn a salary. You don't hold stock in your own name. You are a ghost moving through a world built entirely to protect your privacy and preserve your generational capital. When a news headline announces a historic corporate tax hike or a new regulatory crackdown on small businesses, you don't even blink. Those laws are designed for the operators at levels 1 through 3. They don't apply to the structures you inhabit. You fold the diagram, place it inside a leather portfolio, and take a slow sip of espresso from a porcelain cup. Your black dot eyes look out the window at the quiet, cobblestone streets below. You don't care who gets the credit, who sits in the CEO chair, or whose name is on the building. You don't play the game anymore. You own the legal framework the game is played inside.